KXAN News.
As you will see, there are 20 proposed articles of impeachment alleging grave offenses.
Breaking news out of the state capitol tonight. In a rare moment in Texas history, one of the state's most powerful Republicans faces impeachment. Attorney General Ken Paxton. Thanks for joining us tonight at 10. I'm Britt Moreno.
I'm Daniel Marin. In a unanimous decision, a Republican-led House investigative committee recommended impeaching the state's top lawyer on 20 articles. A vote on impeachment could happen as soon as this weekend. Our Ryan Chandler joins us live at the Texas Capitol as lawmakers review the charges. Ryan.
Well, Daniel Bree, to conclude this historic day here at the Texas Capitol, just before they adjourn tonight, lawmakers received that copy of the articles of impeachment detailing serious accusations of impropriety, felonies, and abuses of office by the state's top law enforcement official. The General Investigative Committee says they will bring those articles to a vote as soon as lawmakers have had a chance to review all of that evidence. Our reporting shows that could come as soon as tomorrow or Saturday. Now, even before they vote, the general consensus from both parties is there will be more than enough votes to impeach Ken Paxton and send those charges for a conviction over to the Senate. Quick math, which is not looking good for Ken Paxton. This only requires a majority of 75 members of the Texas House in order to impeach him. There are 64 Democrats, meaning less than a dozen Republicans will need to join with them to impeach the Attorney General. But this is showing to be a bipartisan effort, and we do expect a lot more Republicans to join with Democrats there. Now, as the investigative committee introduced the articles of impeachment earlier today, a representative of the Attorney General's office tried to show up in his place to defend the Attorney General. He was not allowed to speak given the nature of the hearing, but he called the proceedings unjust. He met with reporters outside of the committee today. Take a look at what he said.
These accusations were against General Paxton, have been presented against him for years. He defeated 3 primary challengers last year. He won by 10 points in the general election. There's nothing new that anyone heard yesterday. The voters have rejected these smears. They've rejected these attacks. And this committee is trying to undermine the will of the voters.
And in his own statement earlier today, Attorney General Paxton echoed that sentiment, showing that he was elected not too long ago with a sizable majority of voters, accusing what he calls the liberal House Speaker Dade Phelan of trying to usurp the voters' will. But that representative you just heard from is correct. He has been facing felony charges for securities fraud for 8 years, the entire time he's been in office, and he has survived politically. But now, in the Texas House, both parties are saying that his long legal troubles have been a drag on their party and on the institution, so they do appear prepared to convict tonight or to impeach this weekend. Bree, Daniel.
Ryan Chandler live for us in downtown Austin tonight. Thank you, Ryan. Now, you might be sitting there at home wondering what are the next steps, so we wanted to share what the Texas Constitution says on all this. With the articles of impeachment recommended to the full House, only 2/3 of all 150 members needs to be present for a quorum, and to actually vote to impeach, a simple majority will do. The session ends in a few days, but the House can do this after session ends and convene itself for impeachment purposes. The rules differ somewhat when it gets to the Senate for a trial.
And our political team spoke to a politics professor from the University of Houston about tonight's developments. He told us politicians are more likely to survive scandals in this highly partisan era of politics.
There's certainly a Trump playbook here that Ken Paxton's running. It's deny and then to deflect. It's common, and actually we see this a lot of different political scandals. So since Watergate, really, we've seen more and more scandals that have emerged that have allowed for politicians to try to use the partisanship that's inherent in the system and deflect some of these charges.
And the professor added that for some politicians, like former President Trump, scandals can help them with their base support and with fundraising. We will continue to follow the latest developments tied to the Texas Attorney General's possible impeachment. Online right now, you can read Paxton's full statement and also take a closer look at the charges brought against him. Again, that is at KXAN.com.